a search for one of their own. A 5-year-old girl named Lauren Jackson was missing.
At the time, I was in shock. And I really didn't realize, because I always thought, she's right here. She'll come up, she'll come around. And this is all for naught. But when daylight came, she wasn't there.
Lauren Jackson's been missing for more than 5 years. In a case like this, anyone and everyone becomes a suspect. Since Lauren vanished, her case has taken a number of bizarre turns. When all is said and done, many people believe the prime suspect is a member of Lauren's family, her own mother. Lauren's parents, Christina O'Donnell and Mickey Jackson, were never married. They split in 1987 when Lauren was 4 years old. Lauren lived with her mother. But in September of 1988, Christina was arrested for attempting to illegally obtain prescription drugs. Soon after, Mickey told Lauren he planned to file...
Sorry, didn't see you there.
A month later, on October 4th, 1988, Christina took Lauren and her other daughter out for dinner. The day had been so normal it was almost mundane. But within 2 hours, Lauren Jackson...
And I walked in, and I put the girl in the house and looked at my
Christina says that 20 minutes had elapsed. She immediately went to Brian's apartment. According to Christina, no one was home.
But I found out later that his mom and they left Lauren outside. But she wasn't out there when I went out.
Well, I showed up at Park Springs that night, and at bar, there was people mobilizing and firing the trucks, and there's a whole lot of pretty hectic. Cleared 19 ponds in 2 days.
By the next morning, the police, using bloodhounds and a professional tracker, uncovered evidence that Lauren had either wandered or been dragged towards Route 724, a quarter of a mile from her home. When an 11-year-old girl came forward with an eyewitness account, everyone's worst fears seemed to be confirmed. The girl was certain that the child she saw was Lauren, but the investigation soon stalled for lack of further evidence. Then, a few months later, another witness came forward with stunning new information that pointed the finger of suspicion directly at Lauren's mother, Christina.
The witness told us that Lauren...
That's the woman. That's the woman I saw.
She observed Christina and told us that she was 100% positive that that was the same woman that she saw give Lauren away on October 4th of 1988.
Well, what is, she saw my picture in the paper. Either maybe she mistaken me for somebody else. Maybe she just was one of those kind of people that like to go to the police or the FBI. There are people like that. Why? I don't know.
Christina O'Donnell staunchly maintained that she had not used the witness was mistaken.
She's quite sure at the time she was there. There's other people that lived in the complex where Lauren disappeared from that are quite sure at the times that Lauren was still in the complex.
Mickey Jackson is convinced that Christina should be charged in connection with the disappearance of her daughter. After 4 months, the grand jury declined to take action. Today, there is only one absolute fact in this troubling case. Lauren Jackson has not been seen since the day she disappeared more than 5 years ago.
And there's got to be a trail somewhere, because then we were so far behind it that we're here, and the trail's there. We need somebody to put us on the trail.
A lot of times I give up hope, but there's always just that glimmer that I'll see her in
Huh?
Is Will 100% Campus Cruises 360?
Yes, it is. I know.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll do it with new ideas to make middle-class life more affordable. New caps on the price of medicine, new investments in clean energy to bring down costs for families. Donald Trump will cut taxes for the super rich. She'll cut taxes for the rest of us. A stronger middle class, a future we can afford.
Yeah. And she makes fucking open up the border for all the immigrants, to send all the empty jails, empty their jails, send them over here.
It's gonna get worse.
I don't like either.
On second good, I found that the car was still rural.
On the back seat was a pile of brightly wrapped Christmas gifts. On the front seat, a blue sports bag, a pair of women's gloves, and a purse. With the instinct born of 15 years' experience, Officer Baird quickly concluded that someone was in dire trouble.
I felt that there was possibly a rape going on, or that a female had been raped. I then called for cover and made my entrance into the field on the north side of the road. I very slowly and cautiously made my way towards a tree line that was to the northeast.
That same day, the victims were identified as 30-year-old Roxanne Jeeves and her 5-year-old son, Christopher. More than 12 years had passed since the brutal double murder, but it still grips the investigating officers as though it happened yesterday. For them, the case is far from over. They hope that tonight, one of our viewers will provide the critical information necessary to solve this troubling mystery. Roxanne Jeeves had moved to Dallas after a divorce. She worked for an insurance company and enjoyed country western dancing. Roxanne was engaged to be remarried in June of 1982. Friends describe Roxanne's son Christopher as happy and outgoing. He had turned 5 years old on Wednesday, December 23rd, 1981, the very day he was murdered. Suspect was seen again. This time it was with Roxanne and Christopher in their car. The man's female companion was no longer with him.
He was acting kind of nervous. He had his hands down on the deck. He never looked up at me. He never said anything. He just stared at the pool. You could tell that she was nervous, and when I looked her, she looked me right in the eyes, and you could tell that she was nervous and something was wrong. Her little boy was in the back seat, and I thought, well, he acted like everything's all right. I told one of my fellow boys, I said, it's going to be something that something happened to that woman because she acted awful straight.
Sometime during the next half hour, Roxanne and Christopher were murdered.
I'm afraid that she saw her son killed, and then she and the killer had quite a struggle before she was initially shot twice herself.
In making his quick getaway, the suspect had inadvertently left behind a blue sports bag, literally a bag of clues. A pre-World War II holster, possibly a collector's item. He may have had an accomplice.
I seen this man run down the hill from the service station, and I thought he might have been a robbery because there was a car on the side of the road slowing down and stopping to pick him up.
Roy Morris described the getaway car as a green 1955 Buick. The driver was a heavy
What's wrong?
black male.
Couldn't reach fools.
Okay.
police hotlines. Several callers made the same suggestion. Talk to Roxanne's brother, Army Private Kurt Jeeves. According to Roxanne's friends, late one night, a man showed up unexpectedly at her apartment.
Kurt's not here.
What do you mean he's not here?
Police believe that when Kurt left to join the army, his former associates were still angry. Roxanne may have found herself trapped in the middle of a bitter, drug-related dispute.
Kurt owes some money, and I'm gonna find him, and I will find him.
2 years later, in 1984, Kurt Jeeves was himself murdered during an attempted drug buy. He had always angrily insisted that he had no information that might shed light on the deaths of his sister and nephew.
This case occurred at Christmas time, and I'm sure that myself and all the other detectives will never forget what we saw out there that day. Whomever committed that offense doesn't need to be free in our society, and I don't intend to ever give up trying to.
Right in, right? Well, when you're sure, you have everything you need, but you actually need one woman.
We got you.
We are happy. And are you neat? Yeah. Let's go and build what you can. But that's
All right.
here.
I think you would know the real answer to that.
Just simple yes or no.
On our next Unsolved Mysteries, 2 stories of death defined by overpowering love. In one, a mother's pain over the loss of her child was equal when she was contacted by what she believes was the spirit of her daughter. And a woman raising 2 young sons after the death of her husband says she found solace when he appeared to her. Some say these after-death...
1 second.
This program is about unsolved mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual family members and police officials have participated in recreating the events. What you are about to see is not in this broadcast.
Kansas City, Missouri. On a small plane loaded with marijuana, crashed in the Virginia countryside. It blew the lid off one of the East Coast's biggest drug dens. Authorities began to close in on the master. The charismatic pilot named Wallace
We
Thrasher,
had a Jeep
who
just
over the
like
year
that
had
one.
apparently died in Central
Yep,
America.
I remember those.
The reports of the drug lord's death may have been a clever hoax. Officials now believe that Wallace Thrasher got away scot-free. An Iowa woman named Pam Page is missing. For more than 4 years, the family has endured the agony of not knowing what happened. In 1977, Pam and her husband Rob left Arkansas, eventually moved to a suburb of Phoenix, Arizona, where they opened a video rental business. Despite one shaky period in 1987, Pam and Rob seemed happy. In fact, on July 7th, 1989, Pam went back to Arkansas for a family reunion and told everyone that things were great. 2 weeks later, however, on July 22nd, 1989, Rob Page said he noticed that his wife was behaving strangely.
During the middle of the night and early morning hours of Saturday, Mr. Page awoke and discovered that his wife was not dead. He went downstairs and discovered her on the sofa. Honey, what are you doing?
I just couldn't sleep.
You can run out of the shop.
I don't feel very good.
Well, you want me to open up for you?
Would you?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be good.
Okay. I got keys.
Hey, thanks.
Right.
He did leave the home, stated he had trouble starting his vehicle because he has an ignition switch problem. Worked on his truck for a little bit, got it started, and went up and opened up the video store.
Rob Page said that 8 hours later, he came home to an empty house and a letter from Pam.
Rob, by the time you read this, I'll be a long way from here. I thought this thing out, and I've been planning this for several months.
The letter stated that Pam had left town to each and every one. Something seemed odd.
keeps baby's skin healthy. A diaper that doesn't leave skin wet. That's why Pampers Swaddlers absorbs wetness better. For up to 100% leak-proof protection and 0% skin irritation. Pampers for healthy baby skin. Changing your baby is easy until it isn't. New Pampers Swaddlers 360 has a stretchy waistband for easy changing as babies grow, so nothing gets in the way of this. New Pampers Swaddlers 360.
What could a second Trump administration look like?
Project 2025. Project 2025. This 922-page handbook
Concentrates power solely in the hands of the president. Project 2025.
Agenda is a threat to middle-class families, cutting Social Security benefits.
Rob Page told detectives that on the day of Pam's disappearance, he left home around 8 a.m. Later, he went to several auto parts stores, looking without success for an ignition switch for his truck. In the parking lot of one store, the truck finally gave out. Rob said he called home, got no answer, and assumed Pam had gone to the video shop after all. He phoned for a taxi to take him home. Rob said he never went into the house, only the garage. He got a part for his truck. Finally, the next day, he located the Corvette. Soon, however, police began to question the details of Rob's story. None of the employees at the last auto parts store remembered Rob or anyone asking about an ignition switch. In addition, Rob Page had said his truck, which was very distinctive, was parked at the store for nearly 4 hours.
You okay, Tom?